Hello and welcome to Unacademy, a one-stop destination for all English medium civil service aspirants. Welcome to the special session where I'll give you a complete overview of Anthropology optional. Before I start the session, a very important announcement. If you are preparing for 2026 and beyond, you can enroll for our GS and CSAT courses for just 19,999 plus 12 months free extension. And along with the optional, you can enroll for just 27,999. With this, you will get access to all our optional comprehensive courses, test series, PYQ courses for the specified duration. And I am starting the comprehensive course on Anthropology, including both paper 1 and paper 2 on 12th June at 10 am. Let us now continue with the session, the overview of Anthropology optional. Firstly, what is anthropology? Anthropology is a scientific study of humans, human behavior and societies in the past and present. Anthropology deals with the biological, social, historical, political, economic and psychological aspects of the humans. In one word, anthropology is a holistic study about the humans. Because in this subject we study about our own selves, the subject is going to be interesting. And what kind of a subject is it? Most of the subjects can be categorized either as a science or as a humanity. Then, what is anthropology? Anthropology is both a science and a humanity. As Alfred Kroeber rightly described, anthropology is a humanistic science because it is a science about the human beings and it is a scientific humanity. Let us now see the syllabus overview of the subject. Like any other subject, in anthropology also the syllabus is organized into two papers. In the paper 1, we have a total of 12 units. Now let us see what are the topics discussed in each of these units. To start with Unit 1, Human Evolution. In the Unit 1, we have topics like Lamarckism. We studied about Lamarckism in our school days. Inheritance of acquired characters. For example, the giraffe acquired the longer neck by stretching its neck. And this acquired character will get inherited to the next generation. As several such acquired characters pass on to the next generations, gradually over a period of time, a new kind of an organism, a new species will be evolved. Same way, this unit also deals with Darwinism. And we studied about Darwinism also in our school days. The survival of the fittest. Not the survival of the strongest, survival of the fittest. Means the organism that can fit into or adjust or adapt to the given ecological conditions will survive better and can evolve into a superior organism or a superior species. That is Darwinism. In this unit, we will also study about how the simple organisms gradually evolve into complex organisms. Like for example, how the monkeys evolved into apes and eventually apes evolved into humans, the most evolved organism on the earth. And is this unit easy or difficult? Conceptual or factual? Of course, this unit is conceptual, but definitely we will have a few facts to remember. That is, a few terms to remember. In general, students have a fear of these terms because they sound a little complex when you listen for the first time. But by following specific procedures, we can simplify this terminology. Let us see how to do that, how to simplify this complex terminology. Let us take up one term called as Pithekus. Memorize only one word, that is Pithekus. Pithekus means what? Ape. Based on this single word, we can construct so many terms. For example, okay, Pithecanthropus means ape. What do you call an ape fossil found in the Sivalik hills? Pithecanthropus, because it is found in Sivalik hills. Then, if you find another ape fossil in the same Sivalik hills, because Pithecanthropus word is already given to one of the fossils, the other one is given a similar name called as Pithecanthropus, named after the Lord Rama, Rama's ape, Pithecanthropus. And then if the ape is very small, for example, the word micro means what? Very small. And the word Pithecanthropus, as you have already understood, it means ape. Small ape can be called as Micropithecus, and a giant sized ape can be called as Gigantopithecus. So based on just one word Pithecus, we can construct around 50 different terms. So when you try to memorize these terms independent of each other, then it is difficult. But by following this particular procedure, memorizing a root word and constructing the terms around it, we can simplify the terminologies, okay, to a greater extent. So human evolution deals about the topics like how the small organisms evolved into more complex organisms like humans, and the topics like Lamarckism, Darwinism, etc. Then coming to the unit 2. Unit 2 deals with total 5 chapters in it. How to remember these 5 chapters? Just remember it like a life cycle. Let us suppose a couple got married. When a couple get married, they will form a new family, right? So the second chapter is family. Beyond family, you will have certain relatives, like say for example, uncle, aunt, nephew, niece, okay, like that. Little distant relatives. They are also close, but relatively more distant when compared to our own mother, father, son, daughter, brother, sister, wife, husband, etc. So those relatives are called as kin group. Kin means what? Relatives. So kin group means a group of relatives. So kinship, again based on the keyword. What is the keyword here? Kin. Kin group, group of relatives, kinship, relationships, okay, like that. Kinship means relationships. So beyond family you will have relatives, kin group, kinship. Beyond relatives, we are also the member of a larger group called as society. For example, we say Indian society. All Indians are not our relatives, they are not biologically related to us, but we feel a sense of relationship with them. We say all Indians are our brothers and sisters. When we meet the Indians outside our country, we feel that affection towards them. So it means we also belong to one particular greater group called as society. And every society will have a unique culture, lifestyle, food habits, dressing habits, cuisine, etc. Okay, so the story here is a couple got married, they formed a family. Beyond family, they have a kinship, and beyond a kinship, they belong to a greater group called as society. And every society will have a unique culture. So these topics are covered in the unit 2. Then coming to unit 3. Unit 3 is economic anthropology. Economic anthropology. In economic anthropology, we will study about the types of economic organizations. Types of economic organizations. What is the most primitive economic organization? It is hunting and gathering. Hunting and gathering. Whenever I ask about the most primitive form of economic organizations, usually the response I get is barter system, exchange. But remember one point, Before you exchange the resources, you have to first earn it. We have to first earn the resources, and then we will exchange the resources which we have earned. So economic organization is firstly about how to earn the resources. So how the most primitive human beings earned their resources? It is not by doing some software job or not by doing some trading with the foreign countries. How did they earn the resources? By hunting and gathering. They hunted the animals, gathered the fruits and vegetables. There is a problem in this. You may not get an animal to hunt every day. You may not get a fruit to gather every day. So, there is a lack of food security. And then, because already we have seen human is the most evolved organism on this earth. So, we are intelligent. So, the intelligent human being got an idea, why to chase the animals? Why can't I grow the animals myself? Okay, so that became pastoralism. Pastoralism. Pastoralism means what? Herding, maintaining herds of animals, a herd of sheep, a herd of buffaloes or a herd of pigs, like that. And instead of gathering, why should I always search for fruits and vegetables? Why can't I grow them? So that gradually became horticulture. Eventually horticulture evolved into agriculture. A more systematic cultivation in the plain areas for a longer duration, even generation after generation in the same land. Okay, so that is called as agriculture. Okay, so this is how the economic organization evolved from hunting gathering to pastoralism, then to horticulture, to agriculture, and then after that, okay, to the neoclassical economics, eventually neoclassical economics, okay, or capitalism, for example, capitalism, and then industrialization, okay, liberalism in economy, okay, and then foreign trade, that is, okay, foreign trade. So like that the economic organization gradually evolved. How can I compare anthropology with sociology? First of all, why am I comparing? Because both are very similar subjects. You will have economics in sociology optional also. Then what is the difference between anthropology and sociology? In one sentence, sociology will begin where anthropology ends. Anthropology primarily will study about the roots, our origin. This is the key word for anthropology. Whatever we study, for example, when we study the unit 1, we study about the origin of the human beings, how the human beings came into existence. Okay, and in the unit 2, we study how the marriage system started. We are not studying about the present marriage rules and all here, not much. Mostly we will study about how the marriage started. What is the first form of marriage? What is the first form of family? Is it clear? Okay, so anthropology is primarily about our roots, our origin, whereas sociology is mostly about the current societies. In sociology, you will study about the current economics. I mean, more of capitalism, industrialization, industrial revolution, the fourth industrial revolution or liberalism, or the recent developments in economics. Whereas in anthropology, we will study about how the economic organization started, how the first man earned some resources, like from hunting and gathering we will start. Okay, so that is the primary difference between anthropology and sociology. So here we will study about how the economic organization evolve over a period of time, from the most simple to the most complex. Now coming to unit 4. Unit 4 is political anthropology. Political anthropology. Political aspects will be coming in all the optionals like public administration, PSIR, or even in the sociology also. Okay, then what is political anthropology? Just like I told you, anthropology deals with our roots, origin. So anthropology will start with what is the first or the most primitive, first or the most primitive form of political organization. So, what is the most primitive form of political organization? Political organizations actually evolved from stateless to state political organizations. What are the four elements of the state? Okay, the first and most important one is the territory, okay, and then the population, and then the government, and then the sovereignty. Is it clear? In polity subject you might have studied what are the four elements of the state. Okay, so state political organization is a political organization based on the territory. Political organization based on territory. It means the Prime Minister of India will govern all the citizens of India, okay, and irrespective of their religion, caste, ethnicity, gender, language, whatever they belong to, whatever religion, caste, language they belong to, but if they are living within the Indian territory, he will become the Prime Minister of India. The government of India will be the government for all the Indian citizens, irrespective of the caste, religion, race, sex, etc. Means the political organization is based on territory, land. Okay, that is called state political organization. Whereas what do you mean by stateless political organization? This political organization is not based on territory. Not based on territory. Then you may get a doubt. Okay, this political organization is not based on the territory. Then on what basis here the power comes? The power comes on what basis? Any aspect. Like for example, okay, you have a lineage based political organization. Lineage based political organization. Okay, means what? Lineage means what? Lineage is something like vansh. Okay, it is just like a family. For example, if you take a nuclear family, you will have a nuclear family will have 2 generations. A joint family will have 3 generations. Okay, parents, children and grandparents. Okay, a joint family will have 3 generations. An extended family will have more generations, like 4 and above. Okay, and then lineage. Lineage will have more generations than extended family. Remember, this number of generations is not fixed. I mean, is there a rule that exactly 4 generations of people should be called as an extended family? Not like that. More generations of people than a joint family. It means not only the children, parents, grandparents. If your family also includes your great grandparents, I mean your grandfather's parents also, then you can call it as an extended family. And if your family contains your great grandparents, parents also, more generations than an extended family, then we can call it as a lineage. In the lineage based political organization, okay, the authority is based on kinship ties. Kinship ties, not territory. I mean, for example, okay, wherever they live, they may live in India, US, Australia, Africa, wherever they live. If these people belong to his lineage, the lineage head will be the leader. Lineage head. The elderly man, an elderly, for example, your great grandfather's father, Your great grandfather's father is the leader. Is it clear? He is not only your great grandfather, he is also the political leader. Okay, this man will lead all the members of his lineage, I mean all his descendants, wherever they live. So territory does not matter. The power is derived from the kinship terms. That is called as stateless. Okay, stateless political organization. If the power comes from the territory, if the power is based on the territory, state political organization. If the power is not based on the territory, based on any other aspect like kinship ties like this, then it is called stateless political organization. Okay, so the stateless political organization gradually evolves into state political organization. In the primitive societies, lineage heads used to govern the lineages, but now the governments will govern the public, okay, based on the territories. So this is how the political organization evolves. So actually anthropology will not deal with the current politics, but it will study about the origin of the political organization, how the political organization started and what is the first political organization, and from there how the political organization gradually evolved. And we can also classify this in one more way. Like for example, the most primitive political organization is uncentralized political organization. Uncentralized political organization. Example, okay, lineage based. Lineage based. For example, there are 10 lineages. Each lineage will have a head, and all the lineages are autonomous. Each lineage is autonomous. One is not answerable to the other. One lineage head is not answerable to the other. So therefore we can call this type of political organization as uncentralized. Okay, it will gradually evolve into centralized political organization. It means total power is concentrated or centralized into one person. Example, kingdoms. Okay, and then the political organizations evolved into decentralized. What is the example for decentralized? Example is the current democracy, the democratic government of India. Okay, because here the power is distributed. Okay, the power is distributed to the lower levels, a prime minister and then chief ministers and then several ministers and then several MLAs will be there. Okay, so like that the power will be distributed to the multiple lower levels. Then what is the difference between uncentralized and decentralized? For example, in decentralized, all the ministers of a state are answerable to the chief minister and all the chief ministers are answerable to the prime minister. But in the uncentralized, one lineage head is not answerable to the other lineage head. There is no hierarchy here. There is no hierarchy here, but there is hierarchy here. Okay, so that is the difference. So this is how in the unit 4 we will study about how the stateless societies evolve into state political organizations. Same way we will also study about how the uncentralized political organizations evolve into centralized political organizations and then eventually into decentralized political organizations. Okay, and then coming to the unit 5. Unit 5 deals with religion. Unit 5 deals with religion. This is quite interesting topic. It will have the concepts like, for example, the word theo is related to God. Okay, and what will you call the lack of belief in God? Atheism. Atheism. A prefix means what? Absence. You keep A before anything, Okay, it is absence. So atheism, lack of belief in God. Okay, same way you will have monotheism. Mono means what? One. Theo means God, belief in a single God. For example, Christianity, Islam, etc. Okay. Polytheism. Poly means what? Many, several. Theo means God. Okay. So polytheism means belief in several gods. Okay. So like that, in this unit we will also study about witchcraft. Witchcraft. What is witchcraft? It is something like black magic. Black magic. And we will also study what is the difference between magic, religion and science. You try to guess what is the difference between magic, religion and science. Let me try to explain here. Magic is a belief that or trying to control the supernatural power. Control the supernatural power. Okay, an idea that I can control the supernatural power. For example, if I have an enemy, if I believe that using supernatural power I can kill my enemy or I can cause misfortune to my enemy, that is called as magic. It means I am trying to control the supernatural power. Whereas religion is submit to the supernatural power. I mean, people gradually understood that they cannot control the supernatural power. I mean, I have done the black magic, but my enemy did not die. Nothing happened to him. Moreover, he further prospered. So I realized that I cannot control the supernatural power. And then I tried to submit to the supernatural power. Okay, but that is also not working. For example, somebody got a cancer, submitted to the supernatural power, done all the prayers, but the cancer is not reduced. Okay, and then he tried to believe in, not in the supernatural powers, but in the natural forces. Natural forces. What are the natural forces? Okay, electromagnetism, okay, or strong nuclear forces, gravitational force. I mean any forces which can be testable, which can be usable. For example, if I have a supernatural power, I do not have any instrument to prove that it is existing. But if I speak about a natural force like electricity, I can charge this mobile phone and prove that there is some force called electricity. So such natural forces. Man started believing in natural forces. Okay, so this is how the humans gradually evolve. First tried to control the supernatural power and then tried to submit to the supernatural power, and then after that tried to improve the technology to save himself. So this is how magic, religion, science difference, atheism, monotheism, polytheism, this kind of topics we will discuss in the unit 5. And then coming to unit 6. Unit 6 is the anthropological thought or anthropological theories. The theories of anthropology. This is the most important topic in the paper 1, we can say. This is like the backbone of the subject. This is like the backbone of the subject anthropology. In this unit 6, we will study about some theories. There are some around 10 theories in this. Okay. Of course, we cannot discuss all the 10 theories here, but I'll just give you an overview of 1 or 2 theories. For example, you have a theory called as evolutionism. Evolutionism. What is evolutionism? Evolutionism says that the culture of a society is evolved in that society itself. For example, Indian culture is evolved, originated in India. I mean, we did not copy the Indian culture from some others. We invented our culture. For example, Indian food, we invented. Indian dress, we invented. Indian language we invented. We did not copy from any other place. Is it clear? The culture of a society, the culture of a society is evolved in that society itself. In that society itself. That is called as evolutionism. Second theory is diffusionism. I hope you can sense that the two theories are exactly opposite to each other. For example, if evolutionism says that Indian food, Indian dressing, Indian music, Indian languages were originated within the country, we only invented them. Okay, diffusionism says the Indian languages got diffused from the other places, or Indian dressing style got diffused from the other places. Indian food habits got diffused from the other places. I mean, we copied the other cultures. Is it clear? Okay. Opposite statement. The culture of a society is diffused from other places. Other places. Like for example, what they believe is the total culture in the world culture got originated only in Egypt, and then the culture got diffused to all other places, say India, okay, USA, Australia, etc. So diffusionism believes that the culture got originated in Egypt or in few places, and from those places got diffused to the other places. It means, according to this theory, Indian culture is not originated, not evolved within the country. Then you may ask me, these are two opposite statements, then which one is correct? So here comes a very important point that, okay, theories are not facts, they are just viewpoints or opinions or perspectives. Is it clear? I mean, some thinkers like Tyler, Morgan, Fraser believe that the culture of a society is originated in that society itself. I mean, they are evolutionists. But some thinkers believe that the culture of a society will get diffused from the other places. So these are the perspectives of two different people. Okay, which one is correct? None of them is correct. None of them is completely false. Both the theories will have certain amount of truth, and also we will have a criticism to that. Is it clear? At the end of the theory, at the end of each theory, we will have a criticism on that particular theory. So the major confusion arises when the people think that the theories are facts. Then they will get confused. Or if evolutionism is correct, then how the diffusionism can be correct? Okay, they are neither correct nor wrong. They are the viewpoints of two different people or two different groups of people. Total theories are like that. No theory is a fact. If one theory is really a fact, then why do we have the other 10 theories? Is it clear? Okay, so that is about the unit 6 theories. Okay, then coming to the unit 7. Unit 7 deals with language. Then, what is language? Language is a tool for communication, isn't it? Language is a tool for communication. Do other animals communicate? Yes. Do ants also communicate? You might have noticed when two ants come one in front of the other, they will do some movement of their legs and all. We can easily sense that they are communicating with each other. You know, even the plants will communicate with each other. Okay, and every animal will communicate. A dog will bark, a cat will make some mewing sound. All the animals, all the living organisms will communicate with one way or the other way. Body language, Plants may communicate with the other plants by secreting certain chemicals. Okay, so all the living organisms will communicate with one or the other way. Humans also communicate, but our communication is more sophisticated. Is it, for example, a dog may just communicate with you that it is sad, but it cannot describe how sad it is. Or a cat may communicate with you. I mean, if you have a pet, you can understand when your cat is happy, but it cannot describe poetically how happy it is, or it cannot discuss with you the reason for its happiness exactly. Is it clear? So we can speak about the degree of sorrow, degree of happiness, okay, or minute emotions, okay, or poetic expressions. We can also explain about more things. I mean, I can also speak about a spacecraft with you, but a dog or a cat cannot discuss about a spacecraft with you. I mean, we can communicate about more objects. A more sophisticated form of communication is called language. What is language? A more sophisticated form of communication is called as language. Okay, and is language unique to the human beings? Yes, language is unique to human beings. Other organisms do not have language. Don't get confused. I'm not saying that other organisms do not have communication. They do communicate, okay, but they do not have this much sophisticated form of communication called as language. Okay, and you may get a doubt that sometimes the parrots will talk. I mean, you can teach 1 or 2 sentences to a parrot. Then what about that? Okay, parrots just imitate the sound that you make. It is not a meaningful conversation. It cannot describe its feelings to you. It cannot speak about an object which is not there in that particular moment there. It cannot explain you about some Aditya L1 or some spacecraft or some LIGO observatory or some constitution of India, okay, or liberalism in economy. It cannot explain all those things. I mean, language is also a meaningful communication. This is also a meaningful communication, not repeating the sounds that we have learned somewhere. So this unique and sophisticated form of communication is called as language. Unit 7 deals with language. Then coming to Unit 8. Okay. While you are watching this video, you can also try to do one thing, that is try to memorize which unit deals with which topic. Unit 1 evolution, 2 marriage, family, kinship, society, culture, 3 economic anthropology, political anthropology, 5 religion, 6 theories, 7 language, 8 research methods. Try to memorize which unit deals with which topic along with this class, right? It will deal with research methods. Then think about it. You are studying about a society. Here let us again remember what is anthropology. Anthropology is a study about human beings, human behavior, human society. Let us suppose you are a researcher and you want to study about the human society. I want to know more about some Sentinelese tribe, or I want to know more about some Naga tribe, or I want to study more about some Kukis or Meiteis or some community I want to study. What are the methods I can use? Okay, can I conduct interview? I mean, I will go there and ask them some questions. Depending on the answers they will give me, I will understand about what kind of a society is it. Okay, and then can I also do surveys? Survey, case study method, questionnaire. Questionnaire means what? Interview, questionnaire, both will have questions. Okay, what will be there in the interview? Questions. What will be there in the questionnaire? Questions. But what is the difference? Interview is oral, questionnaire is written. Okay, I'll give you, like for example, your UPSC application form is a questionnaire. Okay, you will get some questions in the form of a document where you have to write the answers. Okay, so like that also we can conduct the research. Another method called as schedule method. What will be there in the schedule? Questions. In which format, written or oral? Written. Then you may ask me, what is the difference between questionnaire and schedule? Both will have questions only, both in the written format only. Then what is the difference? Okay. For example, the census in India uses schedule method. In the schedule method, the census official will come to your home, okay, with the questions in a document. Okay, he will come with the questions in a document, and then he will ask you the questions. You will tell the answers orally and he will write the answers. Okay, I mean the researcher is filling. Okay, if the researcher, the one who is conducting the research, will write the answer. If the researcher writes the answers, that is called schedule. And if the informant writes the answers, that is called questionnaire. For example, okay, if I give you a question, a document with lot of questions, and you will write the answers like your UPSC application form, that is questionnaire. And if I come with a questionnaire, a list of questions in a document, I will ask you the questions, and when you say I will write it, the one who is conducting the research will write it. That is called as a schedule. Is it clear? Okay. So this is how we have different research methods: case study method, interview method, surveys, schedules, questionnaires. These are all the research methods in anthropology. Then coming to Unit 9. Unit 9 deals with genetics. Okay. In genetics, we will study about DNA, the deoxyribonucleic acid. Okay. And then the DNA will get folded into chromosomes. We will study about the chromosomes here. And we will also study about the chromosomal aberrations. Okay, means we should generally have 46 chromosomes in each cell, right? 46 means 23 pairs of chromosomes in each cell. Instead of 46, if you have 47 chromosomes, I mean if you have an extra chromosome, is it clear? Like for example, Down's syndrome, autism we say, Down's syndrome. In Down syndrome, you have an extra 21st chromosome. Okay, each chromosome will be there in 2 copies like this. This is first pair. Okay, and and then assume this is 21st pair, and then this is 23rd pair. So we have total 23 pairs of chromosomes, 23 pairs of chromosomes or 46 chromosomes. But now let us just assume if the 21st pair you have an extra chromosome, I mean you have 3 copies of 21st chromosome. That is called as Down's syndrome. Okay, like this there are so many syndromes like Klinefelter syndrome, Turner syndrome, Down syndrome. So we will discuss about such chromosomal aberrations. The word aberration means what? Error or mistakes in the chromosome numbers. Correct number is 46 chromosomes. Instead of 46, if you have a chromosome lost or if you have a extra chromosome, that is called as a chromosomal aberration or abnormalities. Okay, so we will study about DNA, chromosomes, chromosomal aberrations, okay, and what are genes and what are the mutations in the genes. And then we will study about pedigrees. What is a pedigree? Use the word pedigree once. Pedigree means family tree. Family tree. Okay, that is, we construct the family trees like this. In a pedigree chart, square means a male, circle means a female. Okay, so like we just draw like this, male, female, got married. Okay, so the line connecting them is marriage. And then a vertical line from this means child, daughter. Okay, father, mother. Okay, so we draw pedigree charts like this. A father, mother, they got married, and then they got one son and then one daughter, and then the daughter got married, and then the son got married, and then they got two sons. Okay, so this is called as a pedigree chart. Pedigree chart means family tree. Why do we use these pedigree charts? To understand how the genetic diseases will get inherited, to study the inheritance of genetic diseases, to study the inheritance of the genetic diseases. Okay, so unit 9 genetics deal with the DNA, what is chromosomes, what are genes, what are the genetic mutations, and the diseases caused by the genetic mutations and how to cure them, what are the chromosomal aberrations, what causes them, what is the solution, what is pedigree analysis, how to understand the inheritance of the genetic diseases, how to know whether my child is going to get a genetic disease or not, what is a genome. All these topics will be covered in the unit 9. Okay. And then I hope you are remembering what topics will be covered in which unit. And then coming to unit 10. Unit 10 is growth and development. Growth and development. Okay. So here you all know that the egg will fuse with the sperm, isn't it? Mother releases the egg cell, father releases the sperm. Okay. And then egg and sperm will fuse to form what? A zygote. And then the zygote, okay, will grow into a group of cells, right? Egg is one cell, sperm is one cell, like this. This is egg, this is sperm. These two fuse to form a single cell called zygote. And then this zygote will undergo a process called as cell division. Cell division to form a group of cells called as embryo. Embryo. Embryo will then grow into fetus. What is fetus? The baby still inside the womb. I mean not yet born. I hope it is clear. The baby still inside the mother's womb is called as fetus. And then the fetus will be born. Then we call the baby as neonate. The word neo means what? New. Natal, you know, natality, mortality. Natal means what? Birth. So neonate means what? A newborn baby. The newborn baby will next become a toddler. Okay, the baby just crawling, okay, just trying to learn walking. That stage is called as toddler. The toddler will grow into child. Child will grow into an adolescent. Adolescent means a teenager. Okay, adolescent will grow into an adult. After adulthood, next you have another stage called as senescence. Memorize this word, senescence. Senescence means like old age symptoms, deterioration. Till adulthood it is positive growth, okay, and after adulthood it is negative growth, deterioration. Is it clear? Okay, senescence, old age changes like wrinkling of the skins, bone density decreasing, hair graying, memory loss, hearing loss, okay, increased susceptibility to death. For example, if the COVID comes, the old age people are more susceptible. There is a higher chance of death if an old individual, okay, in the senescence stage will contract the disease. But for an adult, the chance of death is lesser. Okay, so senescence means what? Old age symptoms, grey hair, wrinkled skin, memory loss, hearing loss, okay, and decreased physiological capacity, okay, decreased like sexual interest, okay, or increased susceptibility to death. Okay, this is called senescence. Okay, and after that eventually what happens? Death. So in a way unit 10 deals with womb to tomb, everything covered in the unit 10. Okay, and then next coming to unit 11. Unit 11 deals with two aspects. One is fertility and second one is demography. Demography. Fertility means what? Ability to give birth to a child, and fertility leads to population. For example, in India, if the fertility is more, I mean if each woman gives birth to more number of children, then what happens to the Indian population? The population size will increase. The word demos means population. Break the word and understand. The word demos means population, okay, and graphene means describing. Okay, you are describing the population. What you will describe about the population? Size of the population, number of people, density of the population, I mean number of people per unit area, okay, sex ratio, I mean how many women you have for every 1,000 males, okay. Same way, different religions, I mean how many Hindus are there, how many Christians are there, how many Muslims are there, and then castes, okay, how many OBCs are there, how many SCs are there, how many STs are there, categorization in OBC, categorization in SC, ST, okay, depending on different states, and different ethnic groups also. Ethnic groups. Ethnic groups. It means, for example, how many Aryans are there? Okay, Aryans are the white-skinned, tall, white, sharp nose is a description of Aryan. If you feel describing like this is not appropriate, then I am not the one who is classifying the Indians into Aryans, Dravidians and all. Okay, Sir Herbert Hope Risley and many other demographers have previously classified the Indians into different ethnic groups based on their physical appearance. Is it clear? Okay, so those are called ethnic groups. Example, Aryans and Dravidians. If you want to know who are the Aryans, a typical North Indian can be understood as an Aryan and Indo-Aryan as well. A typical South Indian can be understood as a Dravidian. Same way, some tribes living in Andaman Nicobar Islands, they can also be called as Negrito tribe. Negrito, not Negroid, Negrito tribe. Where do they live? Okay, they live in the island areas, Andaman Island, etc. Okay, also we have Proto-Mongoloids. Proto-Mongoloids. They live in the northeastern states. Like this, Sir Herbert Hope Risley and many other demographers have classified the Indian population into different ethnic groups, okay, based on the physical features, not based on the culture, lifestyle, dressing, food habits, based on the physical features like nose shape, skin color, hair texture, etc. Okay, so demography, demos means population, graphene means describing it. What all we describe about a population? Size of the population, density, sex ratio in the population, how many male and female are there, what all religions are there, and how many people are there, what proportion of Indians are Christians, what proportion of, what percentage of Indians are Hindus, what percentage of Hindus are Muslims, like that. And different castes, what percentage of OBCs we have, what percentages of SC, ST we have, okay, and different ethnic groups like Aryans, North Indians, Dravidians, South Indians, Negrito, island people, Proto-Mongoloid, Northeast Indians, different ethnic groups. Also we study about the age structure, okay, I mean the distribution of the population into different age groups. How many people are there in the 0 to 5 years age group, 5 to 10 years, what proportion of Indians are there, like that, okay. And then we also study about demographic transition. Simple. Transition means what? Change. How the population structure is changing over a period of time. Demography is about the structure of a population. Transition means change. Demographic transition is change in the population structure over a period of time. So this type of topics we will study in the unit 11. Okay. And then coming to last unit, that is unit 12 in the paper 1, that is applications of anthropology. Applications of anthropology. Okay. In this you have topics like sports anthropology. Okay. Like for example, do you believe that we have to choose the sport according to our bodily features? For example, I am a very short person, say 3 feet height, and I am choosing high jumping as a sport, okay, or basketball as a sport, then my chance of success is less. Let us suppose I am obese, okay, walking with great difficulty, and chosen running as a sport, okay, then the chance of success is less. Or I am a very weak person, physically very thin, okay, very thin, underweight, and I am choosing wrestling as a sport, the chance of success is less. I mean, okay, using anthropology knowledge. Anthropology means what? Once again I am reminding, anthropology is a study about human beings. So anthropology knowledge means what? Knowledge about the human body. I am using knowledge about the human body to select the right sport, that is called as sports anthropology. And then we have forensic anthropology. I mean using anthropology knowledge, I mean knowledge about the human body, like for example DNA testing, fingerprints, blood groups, using all these human body features to solve a criminal case, forensic anthropology. Okay, nutritional anthropology, what kind of a food is good for us, what kind of the food our ancestors have consumed. Is man evolved to be a vegan or a vegetarian or an omnivore or a carnivore? Is it clear? Okay. And what about the difference in the nutrition for different communities? Like for example, men and women. Is there any difference in the nutritional availability and the requirement? Same way, rich people, poor people. Is there any difference in the nutritional availability and the requirement? Is it clear? Okay. Childhood and adult, what kind of different nutritional requirements we will have in the childhood and adulthood? Okay. So nutrition for different age groups, nutrition for different sexes, nutrition availability for different economic classes, food habits of different ethnic groups, and evolutionary aspects of the food, that is the human being evolved to be a herbivore or a carnivore, a herbivore like a monkey or a carnivore like a tiger? What are we evolved to be? All these aspects we'll study in the nutritional anthropology. So this is how unit 12 deals with the applications of anthropology. Now let us see just an overview. Okay, and I wanted you to remember which unit deals with which topic, and you can cross check. Okay. Evolution, marriage, family, kinship, society, culture, economic anthropology, political anthropology, religion, anthropological theories, language, research methods, genetic, human growth and development, fertility and demography, and applications of anthropology. Now, coming to an overview of paper 2 syllabus. Okay. In the paper 2, unit 1 is Indian archaeology. It is very much like history. What all you have here? You have Paleolithic, Mesolithic. Again, lithic means what? Stone, Stone Age. Paleolithic means old Stone Age. Mesolithic means middle Stone Age. Neolithic means new Stone Age. Chalcolithic. The word chalcos means copper and the word lithic means stone. Copper plus Stone Age. They used both. They used copper. But copper is a soft metal. Okay. So you cannot make weapons using the copper. So they have also continued to use the stones. And then next they developed into Bronze Age. And also you have Indus Valley civilization, Harappan civilization. Okay. And also you have the topics like Sivapithecus. I told you an ape fossil. What is Sivapithecus? It is an ape fossil found in Sivalik hills. Therefore, it is called as Sivapithecus. Ramapithecus. That is also an ape fossil found in Sivalik hills only. And then you also have Narmada man. Use the word once. Narmada man. Narmada man is also an ape fossil found in the Narmada river valley. So most of the names in anthropology, these fossil names are based on the location of their discovery. So wherever you feel the anthropological terms are difficult, remember the actual difficulty is in geography. They are the geographic locations. We have only few of them wherever the fossils are found. But actually in when you study geography as a subject, such terms will be many more. So do we have a few terms to remember in anthropology? Of course, yes. But the number of terms that you have to memorize will be comparatively less when compared to most of the other optionals. Okay. So this is about the unit 1 in that is Indian archaeology. Okay. What is there in the paper 2 unit 2? Paper 2 unit 2 is about the demographic profile. The demographic profile of India. By the way, what is the primary difference between paper 1 and paper 2? Paper 1 is general anthropology or world anthropology. Paper 2 is Indian anthropology. Okay. If you remember, in the paper 1 also, unit 11, paper 1 unit 11 is also demography. What we studied? Population size, density, age structure, sex ratio, the percentage of populations in different castes, different religions, different ethnic groups or different regional distribution of the populations. Okay. And then demographic transition, etc. Isn't it? In the paper 2 demographic profile also we study the same things. Okay. But okay, with reference to Indian population, we study the size, age structure, sex ratio, okay, regional distribution, okay, or ethnic groups, how many Aryans are there, how many Dravidians are there, like that. Linguistic groups, I mean, how many people speak Indo-Aryan languages, how many people speak Dravidian languages, okay, like that. Linguistic groups, okay. Demographic transition, almost similar to the unit 11 in paper 1, but that is in general, but this is specifically about the Indian population, okay. So that is about the demographic profile of India. Okay, so what is the demographic transition? As I told you, like in which stage India was in the growing stage of the population. Okay, are we in the growing stage or did we reach the stationary phase yet? Okay, Indian population did not still reach the stationary phase. It means, okay, when you will call this as a stationary phase? Stationary phase is when the birth rate is equal to death rate. The population is neither growing nor decreasing nor declining. Okay, India is not yet in the stationary phase. Is it clear? India is still in the presently India is in the expanding phase only, expanding or growing phase, but slow growth. That is, the growth of the population slowed down, growing only, but the growth is slow, not population explosion. We crossed the stage of population explosion and currently we are still in the growing phase only, but the growth is slow and the target is to reach the stationary phase. The target is to reach the stationary phase. This kind of topics we will study in the paper 2 unit 2, that is demographic profile of India. And one small point, in this class if you do not understand all these things 100%, it is absolutely fine. In this class my intention is only to make you taste different units of the syllabus. I mean, I am just trying to walk you through the subject. Okay, so what kind of topics you can expect in the subject? You don't have to understand them thoroughly in this particular class. Okay, where more detailed explanation will obviously be given during the course. Okay, right. So that is about the unit 2, and then unit 3 and 5. Okay, unit 3 or else let us, okay, unit 3 and 5, I am categorizing this as Indian anthropology. Okay, unit 1 is Indian archaeology. Look at here, look at the categorization. I categorized unit 1 as Indian archaeology. Unit 2 demographic profile of India. Unit 3 and 5 Indian society or Indian anthropology. Okay, categorizing unit 3 and 5 as Indian society or Indian anthropology. Okay, what all topics will be covered here? We will study about the caste system. Is caste system unique to India or not? You might have heard this question in different places like Indian Society for GS paper 1 or some essay writing, or in general in the society somewhere in the news. Is caste system unique to India or not? In some places you might have heard that it is unique to India. In some places you might have heard as no, it is not unique to India. We have caste system in the other countries also. Then which is correct? Is caste system unique to India or not? It depends on the way you define the word caste. Listen carefully. It depends on the way you define it. For example, if I define caste system as just categorizing the people, for example, castes are categories. If I just define castes as categories, okay, then of course it is not unique to India because we have categories in the other countries also. For example, in Muslims you have Sunnis and Shias. In Buddhism you have like this Hinayana, Mahayana, Vajrayana and all those things. In Jainism you have Shvetambaras, Digambaras, etc. In every religion, every country, there will be some sort of categories will be there. So if you define castes just as categories, then it is not unique to India. But if you define the caste, if you consider the caste with all its characteristics, Like for example, you have thousands of categories. Do you have thousands of categories in Islam? Do you have thousands of categories in Christianity? No. So this is unique to India. And untouchability, caste based untouchability, unique to India. Like for example, in the other religions, for example, Vajrayana Buddhists do not consider some Hinayana as untouchables. So that concept is not there. And hereditary nature, okay, that is, I will get the caste of my father only. Most of the times, there are some exceptions. About the exceptions, I will discuss leisurely during the course. But most of the times, a child will get the caste of the father. Okay, but in the other cases, it is not actually hereditary. So if you consider all characteristics of the caste system, then it is unique to India. Okay, so is caste system unique to India? Some places they will say yes, some places they will say no. Which is the correct answer? The correct answer is, it depends on the way you define it. If you just define it as categories, then you have categories in the other religions and other countries also. But if you consider all characteristics of the caste system, with all these characteristics, exactly same type of a system you do not have in the other countries and in the other religions. So we study about the caste system here, and along with this we study about dominant caste. Dominant caste means what? Powerful caste. Okay, and then we will study about Sanskritization. Sanskritization. What is Sanskritization? To understand this, you should also know about the Varna system. Okay, we have 4 Varnas. What are the 4 Varnas? Brahmins. Okay, and then the next one, Kshatriya, and then Vaishya, Sudra, and there is one sloka called Chaturvarnam Maya Srishtya Guna Karma Vibhagasa. I mean, we believe that the God created the 4 Varnas based on what? Based on the Guna, that means your nature, and based on your karma. Chaturvarnam, 4 Varnas, Maya Srishtya, the God created. The God is saying that I created the 4 Varnas. Okay, Guna Karma Vibhagasa, that is based on the Guna and Karma. Karma means based on your actions. Okay, and also we believe that the Brahma created the Brahmins from the head, Kshatriyas from the shoulders, Vaishyas from the thighs, and Sudras from the feet. Okay, so this is called as Varna system. And Brahmins' occupation is priest. The occupation of the Brahmins is priest. Kshatriyas' occupation is their warriors. Okay, Vaishyas are the commoners. Sudras are kind of slaves or servants. Is it clear? Right? So this is the Varna system. And then what is Sanskritization? Lower Varna imitating the higher Varna. Is it clear? That is called Sanskritization. For example, you have a term called as Brahminization. Use the word once. Brahminization means becoming like Brahmins, imitating the lifestyle of Brahmins. So that is one example for Sanskritization. If a lower Varna imitate higher Varna, that is called Sanskritization. Is it clear? Then you may ask me, there is some difference between Varna and caste. What is the difference? Because you might have noticed that in some books, Varna and caste are described as synonyms. They are used as synonyms. But in some books, they will differentiate. Are they synonyms or different? Okay, they are different. Varna and caste are not the same. Okay, they are different. In what way they are different? For example, Varnas you will have only 4, whereas castes you have thousands of castes. Is it clear? And okay, Varna can be changed, caste cannot be changed. Is it clear? Caste cannot be changed. Varnas can be changed. Okay. For example, Ravan was a born Brahmin, but by occupation he is a king. Okay. So like that one can change the Varna, but one cannot. For example, okay, for example, my prelims marks are in the borderline. Now I will change into SC or ST so that my prelims will be cleared. Is it possible? Not possible. I cannot change the caste. Okay. So like this, and untouchability is not there in the Varna system. Untouchability is present in the caste system. Like this, I can give you some 10-15 differences between Varna and caste, but during the course, because it is just an introduction class, these are some differences between Varna and caste. So we understood what is Varna system, what is caste system. Okay, not completely, I am just walking you through the terms, that's all. Then what is a dominant caste, powerful caste, and what is Sanskritization, lower caste imitating the higher caste, or lower Varna imitating the higher Varna. Okay, so that kind of topics will be there. Same way, ashramas. What are the 4 ashramas? Okay, like for example, you have this ashramas, Brahmacharya ashram, isn't it? Brahmacharya. What is Brahmacharya ashram? Right now you are in Brahmacharya ashram only, student life. Okay, then that too, Grihastha ashram. Is it clear? Second one is Grihastha. Okay, that is married man or householder's stage. From there to Vanaprastha. Vanaprastha. Vana means what? Forest. Prasthana means what? Wandering, journey. Okay, wandering in the forest. From there to sannyasa. Sannyasa. And then in these 4 stages, so eventually what are the ashramas? They are the 4 stages. They are the 4 stages of the human life. Student life, householder's life, and a stage where you have to develop detachment, leave your property and go wandering in the forest, Vanaprastha, and a higher level of detachment, okay, that is sannyasa ashram. In these 4 ashramas, if you have any papa karma, if you do any papa karma, that leads to rebirth. Papa karma leads to rebirth. Again, just like your UPSC journey. Okay, like prelims, mains, interview. If somebody fails in interview, you will not again give only interview. Again the first step begins. So again the process begins from Brahmacharya, Vanaprastha, Brahmacharya, Grihastha, Vanaprastha, Sannyasa. Again you have done some Papa Karma, one more rebirth. So like this the soul keep on like rotating in this wheel of samsara. We call this as a wheel of samsara. Okay, that is called ashramas. Purusharthas. What are the Purusharthas? Dharma means what? Righteousness. Ardha means what? Wealth. Okay. Kama means what? The sexual desire. Okay. And moksha. Moksha means what? Salvation. Salvation means Jivatma entering into Paramatma. My individual soul entering into the universal soul, that is called Paramatma. Okay. Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha are the Purusharthas. Sanskritization I told you, lower Varnas imitating the higher Varnas. Karma theory, Papa Karma, Punya Karma. If you do Punya Karma, you will get Moksha. If you do Punya Karma, you will get Moksha. If you do Papa Karma, you will get rebirth. Karma theory. Village studies, we will study about the Indian villages. Very important, because in India, around 70% of the population still living in villages. Okay, so studying about the villages is about studying about 70% of the Indians. So it is very important. It is not only like studying about the villages, it is studying about majority of India. Is it clear? And then judge money system. Okay, if you take up this word judge money system, the word judgment originated from Yajman. Yajman means what? Owner, lord. Okay. For example, he will give grains to a Mali. Mali means what? Gardener. Okay. And then Mali will offer services. Goods versus services. No cash. Is it clear? Non-monetary exchange of goods versus services is called as judge money system. It is the Indian version of barter system. This is not exactly like barter. Then you may get it out. Then what are the differences between barter and judge money? During the course, okay, because it is just an introduction about the syllabus. Going into more details is not possible. Similar to barter system, we can say Indian version of the barter system, where Yajman or the judgment, the landlord will offer grains or goods to the service providers, and the lower caste, service provider caste, will offer services to him. This kind of system is called as judge money system. So all these topics are given in the units 3 and 5. Unit 4 is Indian anthropologists, not Indian, this unit 3 and 5 Indian anthropology. Unit 4 is Indian thinkers, Indian anthropologists like M.N. Srinivas, L.P. Vidyarthi, D.N. Majumdar. Like that, there are a few Indian thinkers, their contributions that will be given in the unit 4. Lastly, in the paper 2 you have only 9 units. Paper 1 is having 12 units. Paper 2 9 units. 6, 7, 8, 9 units are tribal India. Okay, total in these 4 units, unit 6, unit 4, 7, unit 8, unit 9. All the 4 units deal with the tribal India. So here we will study about the tribal classification. We classify the tribals based on the language they speak, based on the Aryan tribes or Dravidian tribes or Mongoloid tribes or Negrito tribes, like that. And we classify the tribes based on their occupation. We classify the tribes based on their religion. We classify the tribes based on the region where they are living, South Indian tribes, Central Indian tribes, like that. So classification, tribal problems, health problems, educational problems, land encroachment, that is non-tribal people entering into the tribal areas and encroaching their lands. Displacement, for example, in the forest area you are constructing a dam or a national park or a sanctuary. So what we have to do? We have to send the tribals out of that forest. Displacement, okay. So poverty, okay, nutritional deficiencies, all kinds of tribal problems, okay. And what are the developmental schemes? STs, scheduled tribes, or the tribals in India are one of the most underdeveloped category. So what we have to do? What is the role of the government? Government should give a helping hand to them. Through what? Developmental schemes, okay, hostels, free education, or midday meal programs, or marketing the tribal goods. So like that we have various schemes and programs, governmental schemes and programs. And then constitutional safeguards, Article 15, Article 14, Article 16, okay, speaking about equity and giving special provision to the tribals. Constitutional safeguards for SC, ST, OBC, all the 3 are given in this units, okay. Constitutional safeguards for SC, ST, OBC. And then the tribal movements. Movements means what? rebel, okay, the revolutions, they fight for certain causes, they fight for their rights. So that is tribal movements. Also we study about PVTGs. PVTGs means particularly vulnerable tribal groups, okay. Then if you get this doubt, you can understand like this: these are all the tribes. All tribes are not scheduled tribes. Within the tribes also, some more undeveloped tribes are called as scheduled tribes. And within the scheduled tribes, only 75 most undeveloped. They are called as PVTG. Is it clear? Particularly vulnerable tribal groups. Okay. Are all the STs PVTGs? No. But are all the PVTGs STs? Yes. Are all the tribals STs? No. Okay. For example, you have a tribe called as Banjara tribe. Okay. This Banjara tribe, in some states it is OBC, in some states it is SC, in some states it is ST. ST list is a state list. In certain states Banjaras are STs, but in many other states they are OBCs. Okay, so it means not all tribes are STs, but all STs are tribes. Is it clear? Okay, within the tribes, more undeveloped ones are called as scheduled tribes. Within the scheduled tribes, much more primitive, okay, who require a higher level of helping hand. Okay, they are called as particularly vulnerable tribal groups. There also, some of them are at the verge of extinction also. Some of them are at the verge of extinction. Their numbers are declining or static, not growing. PVTGs, in general, Indian population is growing, of course slowly but growing. But PVTGs number is not growing, either static or declining. Okay, so this kind of more primitive STs are called as PVTGs. This kind of topics we will discuss in tribal India. So with this I have given you an overview of both paper 1 and paper 2. Now let us categorize the subject into different parts. Okay. Firstly, physical anthropology. What am I calling as physical anthropology? This is unit 1. Okay. Unit 9, 10, 11 and 12 of paper 1. That means 5 out of total 21 units. 24% physical anthropology. How did I arrive at this 21 number? 12 units in paper 1, 9 units in paper 2, total 21 units you have in anthropology syllabus. In the paper 2 there is no physical anthropology. In the paper 1 you have physical anthropology, only 5 units. Unit 1, that is evolution, Unit 9 genetics, Unit 10 growth and development, Unit 11 fertility demography, Unit 12 applications of anthropology. These 5 out of total 21, that is 24% of anthropology can be categorized as physical anthropology, and this is biological part. Is it clear? Okay. It is quite easier than the biotechnology that you study for prelims. Okay, it is not at all difficult, and in general students have an opinion that anthropology is more suitable for bio background students. Is that correct? Okay, let us see whether that is correct or not. Look at this list. Okay, look at this list. These are all the toppers with anthropology optional. Okay, below the top 10, that is AIR 2, 1, 3, 6, 1, 9, 3, 5, 7, 8, 3, 4, like that. All of them are from engineering background. Okay, most of them are from engineering background. Okay, and you can Google search about it. Okay, so bio background students anthropology is suitable is absolute myth. All the students who got below 10th rank in anthropology and all the people who secured highest scores in anthropology are non-biology students. At least 99% of them are non-biology students. Google search about this data. Is it clear? Okay. So, this bio part is quite easy, and in fact that will be more interesting and more scoring. This is more interesting and more scoring. Why this is more scoring? Actually this part will make the optional more scoring. Why anthropology is a relatively more scoring optional? Why it is a high scoring of? Because of physical anthropology. Okay, means you will have, like, when you write something about the Indian society, you are writing your viewpoint. The examiner may not agree with it. The examiner may not like the points you have written. Okay, but in physical anthropology, when you write about some genetics and all, okay, it is not your opinion. For example, humans have 23 pairs of chromosomes. Is it Bindu's opinion or is it a fact? It is a fact, whoever says it. Is it clear? Okay, so like that, physical anthropology will be more scoring. Next, coming to the second segment, socio-cultural anthropology. Unit 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of paper 1. That is 7 out of 21. That is 33. I am very bad in mathematics. If this value is wrong, please pardon me. Around 33% of anthropology syllabus is socio-cultural anthropology. Is it clear? And what is this 21? I told you 12 units from paper 1, 9 units from paper 2, 21. Indian anthropology. What is Indian anthropology? Okay, I am considering Indian anthropology as unit, okay, 2, 3, 4, 5 of paper 2. 2, 3, 4, 5 of paper 2 means 4 out of 21, 19%. Is it clear? Okay. Archaeology. What is archaeology? Unit 1 of paper 2 and 1.8 of paper 1. In paper 1 also, unit 1, 8th chapter, there is archaeology. These two together, it is less than 5%, but let us assume 5%. I mean 1 out of 21. How 1 out of 21 is 5%? That is not the exact value. Okay. Next, tribal India. I told you 6, 7, 8, 9 of paper 2. That means 4 out of 21 is 19% tribal India. This is how we can divide anthropology. Okay. Then coming to, now I have given the complete overview of anthropology. Now coming to the most important segment of my today's session, that is why optional is important. Why are we speaking so much about the optional, not anthropology? In general, why optional is important? Okay, if you observe, okay, 362 marks in anthropology. You know something? Anthropology is the highest score in optional. In UPSC history, maybe decades back what happened, I don't know, okay, but in the near past, okay, highest score in optional is from anthropology, that is 362. It is even more than mathematics optional. Why am I comparing it with mathematics optional? Because you know, since school days we know that mathematics is scoring, because if you give the right answer, they have to give the full marks. So in general, in the school days we thought that mathematics is the most scoring optional. But in UPSC, anthropology's scores are even higher when compared to mathematics optional. Okay, and there are many students who scored above 300, about 315, okay, 315 plus in anthropology. I mean 300 plus in anthropology, okay, is a very common score. Whereas in some subjects like I I will not particularly name, but in some subject, even 250 marks is a very high score. Okay, so that is one advantage of anthropology. Fine, leave about anthropology. If you observe, okay, here she got 362 marks in optional. That is only from 2 papers. Whereas the remaining 521 marks she got from GS. That is, okay, essay and 4 GS papers. Essay plus 4 GS papers. 5 papers together 521, only 2 papers together she scored 362. It means, okay, 41% of the written total, not considering the interview marks. 40% of the written total she scored from only optional. And Koya Sriharsha, he was my student, okay, and his anthropology score was 338, and the remaining, that is essay plus 4 GS papers, 5 papers together 624. It means 35% of the marks only from 2 papers, whereas 65% marks from 5 papers. So tell me, what is the hero of mains in UPSC? Optional papers. Is it clear? Optional is the hero character of your UPSC mains. Is it clear? So this is one point. And then, fine. We understood what is anthropology and in general why optional is important. Now let us try to understand in what way anthropology is good. Why should you choose only anthropology? Okay. First thing, I already told you, highest score in the optional so far is from anthropology, that is 362 marks for 500. Is it clear? Next, okay, but that is a feat. Okay, it is not achievable by everybody. So looking at the 362 mark, you should not choose anthropology optional. Is it clear? You may get 370 also, but with that bharosa, you should not take anthropology optional. That should not be your criteria. Why? Because these are called feats, wonders. They don't happen regularly. So what should be our criteria? Average marks. I mean, some of the selected students got 200. Some of the selected students got 360. What is the average of these two? Is it clear? Few people got 200, 250, 300, 315, 310, 320, 270. What is the average of all these things? Okay, average score. Let us look at this average score. Average of the total marks. Okay, if you observe, for anthropology it is 264. Anthro 264. Okay, and geography 253. Geography 253. Okay, history 259. Okay, PSIR 250. This is not highest score. Highest score can be 300 plus. Lowest score can be some 200 or 150. This is the average marks, okay, out of all the selected candidates. Is it clear? Okay. Next, public administration. Okay, 260. If you observe, anthropology is among the highest. Average score also. I hope it is clear. First criteria, highest score. Okay, let us keep it aside. It is a wonder. It is a feat. Okay, we should not take our decision based on that. Next criteria, average mark. In that also anthropology is among the highest. Next one, interesting subject, because here we are studying about our own selves. Moreover, it is very diverse. I mean, when you get bored with theories, you have some genetics. When you get bored with genetics, you have some Archaeology, when you get bored with archaeology, you have some Indian society kind of topic. When you get bored with that, you will get some polity like subject. When you get bored with that, you will get some economy like subject. So like you will have diverse topics. There is no chance of monotony or boredom in this subject. Interesting subject. Most of the questions are direct questions, okay, and all these are verifiable. Please, in the internet the previous year questions are very much available. Keep the syllabus paper with you, the previous questions with you. Try to identify the previous questions coming from which part of the syllabus. You just check whether the questions are directly coming from the syllabus or twisted. Twisted will be there, but at least 80% of the questions are direct questions and mostly repeated questions, and it is verifiable. Okay, I cannot say this baselessly. Just after this class, open the syllabus paper, open the PYQs and check whether the questions are repeating or not, and check whether minimum 80% of the questions are directly given from the syllabus or not. Okay, like that. And it is scoring optional. How do I say that it is scoring optional? Highest score plus highest average score. It may not be highest average score because it will change in different years, but definitely among the highest average scoring subjects, no doubt. Okay, in most of the years it is highest scoring. Okay, in some of the years it may be among the highly scoring optionals. Okay, next one. Is anthropology overlapping with the GS papers? Is it clear? Everybody, every subject, for example, a history teacher will come to you and say that, okay, if you study history, most of the GS preparation will be completed. A PABAD teacher will come to you and say that if you study PABAD, most of the GS preparation will be completed. A PSIR people will say that if you study PSIR, most of your GS preparation will be completed. Okay, and I am not any different. I am also telling you that if you study anthropology, okay, major part of your GS also will be covered. Okay, then if everybody claims the same thing, okay, history optional, PSIR, PABAD, anthropology, geography, if every optional educators or if every optional seniors claim the same point, which is correct? Nothing to bang our head, all are correct. All are absolutely correct. That is the reason why these are popular optionals. For example, why electrical engineering is not a popular optional when there are so many engineers? Okay, why medical science is not a popular optional when there are so many medical graduates? Okay, why botany, zoology are not popular optionals? Because there are so many people who have taken BPC in their +1, +2. Because they do not overlap with GS papers. Okay, PSIR, public administration, history, geography, anthropology, all these optionals overlap with GS. That is the reason why they became popular optionals. So now let us see, okay, where anthropology syllabus will overlap with GS papers. Anthropology syllabus overlaps with which GS papers? Okay, first of all, essay. Is it true? Do anthropology syllabus overlap with essay? Let us see some evidence. Because I said anthropology is a scientific humanity, then I said everything must be evidence based. So let us have an evidence for it. What is the evidence? Anthropology related previous essays. Okay, look at here. Okay, the blue color sentences are some of the previous essays from the paper 1. Okay, in the green color it is the anthropology syllabus which is related to that essay. Evidence based, scientific study, right. Life is a long journey between a human being and being humane. Is it clear? It is related to unit 1.1 of the paper 1, that is meaning and scope of anthropology, because unit 1 is about human evolution. It is all about being humans, biologically, socially. Okay, Next, culture is what we are and civilization is what we have. It is a 2020 essay, and unit 2.1 paper 1 is culture and civilization. I told you unit 2, marriage, family, marriage, family, kinship, society, culture. In that chapter itself you have culture and civilization. Unit 2, anthropology. There can be no social justice without economic prosperity, but economic prosperity without social justice is meaningless. It is an essay from 2020 and it is related to unit 5.2 paper 2, that is linguistic religious minorities. Okay, and the problems faced by SC, ST, OBCs, that is about the social justice. Is it clear? Okay, economic prosperity, social justice. I mean, prosperity should be equally distributed to all categories like minorities, SC, ST, OBC, related to that. Next, patriarchy is the least noticed yet most significant structure of the social inequality. 2.5 kinship chapter. In kinship chapter only we study about patriarchy, matriarchy, all those things. Customary morality cannot be guide to modern life. Unit 4, okay, political anthropology. Social media is inherently a selfish medium. In the unit 5 paper 2, you have a topic, direct topic called media and social change. Okay, water disputes between states in federal India. We have regionalism, river water disputes, regionalism, 9.3 paper 2. Okay, as civilization advances, culture declines, culture and civilization, 2.1 paper 1. Okay, so this is evidence based analysis. Are essays related to anthropology syllabus appearing in the UPSC exam? Very much. These are all the examples from the recent papers. Okay, and obviously anthropology studies about human society, historical, geographical, all aspects of it. Definitely at least one of the essays should be related to anthropology syllabus. Is it clear? Then GS paper 1, Indian society, obviously. GS paper 2, social justice, obviously. Okay, then you may say, madam, don't say obviously, show me evidence. Okay, where is evidence for it? Here it is. Okay, anthropology related previous questions in GS1 and GS2. Okay, look at here. In the blue color, what is given is the question. What question? Is it anthropology question? No, it is a question from GS2. It is a question from GS1. It is a question from GS1. This is a question from GS1, GS1, GS1. Okay, like that. Is it clear? So what are these? These are the questions from, look at this, anthropology related questions from GS1 and 2. They are not anthropology previous year questions. So in the blue color I have given the question from GS1, GS2. In the green color I mentioned the anthropology syllabus unit number. In which unit of the anthropology syllabus this question came. Is it clear? You can go through these. Is it clear? So definitely, okay, the third criteria, okay, that is overlapping with the GS papers is also satisfied. And anthropology is mostly static subject and also conceptual subject. It is not very dynamic because I told you that anthropology deals with the roots of the humans, origin. So it is not about the current society. So it is mostly static. But don't we need current affairs in anthropology? We need, but less than the other optionals. Okay, certain optionals like sociology, PSIR, PubAd will be more dynamic. Okay, everyday newspaper reading is compulsory. Anthropology is not like that. Okay, and it is conceptual. I mean, if you understand, you can write. So don't you have any facts to by heart in anthropology? Yes, you will have. You will have some terms to by heart, but lesser when compared to the other optionals. Okay, and more number of selections in the top 10 ranks, again, okay, evidence based. This is the data. These are all the selections in the top 10 from anthropology optionals in the recent years. Actually, if you Google search, you will get more names. This is not the complete list. This is roughly, I just brought a few names here. Okay, more selections in the top 10 over the years, not 1 year. You cannot go based on 1 year's data. Okay, availability, guidance and resources related. I mean, you need some coaching, you need some material, you need some seniors to guide you, you need some PYQ based books in the market. Okay, this kind of sources are more available comparatively in anthropology. Okay, so these are the reasons why to choose anthropology. Is it clear? Okay, highest average score, more students in the toppers. Okay, and selection ratio, look at this, this is another comparison. Medical science 16.3, true, but because of that, can we take the medical sciences when you have not done MBBS? Not possible. Even MBBS graduates most of the times are choosing the other optionals like anthropology. Why? What is the reason? Because just before the exam they have to revise all the 19 papers they have studied across 5 years in their MBBS. Moreover, there is no overlap with GS papers. That is the reason why even the medical graduates are choosing the other optionals like PSIR or anthropology or something like that. Okay, so then if you compare the popular optionals, anthropology 10.7. Okay, if you compare this data, you will understand that even the selection ratio is on higher side in anthropology. Is it clear? Okay, so among the higher, okay, I don't say highest, but even the selection ratio is, okay, even according to the selection ratio, anthropology is among the topmost optionals. Is it clear? This is overlap with the other GS papers and it is the evidence for such overlap. Okay, and then here I have given the book list. You can go through the book list. Okay, and but actually I will provide you the complete notes. You don't have to read all these books. Okay, all inclusive complete printed notes will be given to you. Printed means not hard copy. Okay, a soft copy will be given to you, right? Okay, then so what you can expect from Unacademy optional subscription. In general, for example, in any institute, if you enroll for one subject, you will have to attend that subject. But after 3-4 months, let us suppose you feel that the subject is not suitable. For example, you have joined in anthropology. 3 months later, you realized that it is not suitable to you. Then your money will not be wasted. Okay, you can just shift to the other optionals in the same platform. Is it clear? So that is one important facility available here. Then what are the unique features of my course? I mean, if you enroll into my anthropology course on Unacademy platform, what you can expect? Very important, listen carefully. Of course, 100% completion of the syllabus. Of course, notes for the complete syllabus, but not only the completion of the syllabus, along with the course, I will do 500 PYQs I will discuss. Not after the course, during the course. During the course, I will discuss 500 PYQs from around 10 years or more. Is it clear? How do I discuss it? Let us suppose after 4 months, what if I don't discuss the PYQs? So, the PYQ discussion is not at the end of the course. For example, Unit 1 is completed and then I will discuss all PYQs from Unit 1. Then Unit 2. Unit 2 is completed. Then I will discuss all PYQs from Unit 2. That is how along with the course we will discuss 500 PYQs. And understanding is the minimum requirement in my course because, okay, I have a habit of explaining till you understand. Okay, so understanding the content is obvious, but 80% of even the learning will happen in the class. I will try to make you memorize the facts also. Is it clear? And then you will have daily answer writing along with model answer. I mean, I'll give you a question, you will write the answer, you will submit that, and then you will get the model answer for it, so that you can cross check and evaluate how you have written. Okay, and a comprehensive material covering 100% of the syllabus from both paper 1 and paper 2. And the notes will have the flow charts and diagrams like this. This is my handwriting and these are the diagrams I have drawn for you with all the responsibility that I have on you. Is it clear? So the notes will be full of this flow charts, diagrams, handwritten, okay, flow charts, hand drawn, okay, pencil drawn diagrams will be there in the syllabus. Maps, model answers will be there in the notes. Okay, like this complete notes will be given to you, and sessions will be interactive. Okay, and then during the class also, during the live class, you can keep chatting with me, and also you can use raise hand option, so that you can even talk to me during the classes. So that is how we are trying to make them, okay, make them interactive. Though they are online classes, I feel that these classes are more interactive than even offline classes. I have an experience of teaching anthropology since the year 2011, and I worked in so many prestigious offline coaching centers as well. But what I noticed is, okay, in an offline coaching center, the student will hesitate to ask a question, but in online, in the chatting, you are anonymous. Okay, so you will just message whatever doubt you will get. You will simply message whatever doubt you will get. And if that is not possible, you can use raise the hand option. Okay, you don't have to hesitate. Is it a silly doubt? Other students may laugh at me, or the teacher may make fun out of me. These things will not be there. So I feel the online classes are much more interactive than offline classes in my experience. Is it clear? Okay, and then how to score high in anthropology. Okay, the last segment of this session, how to score 300 plus in anthropology. Time management is important, and focus on completing the paper rather than writing few best answers. For example, for 10 questions you will write best answers. The next 10 questions you did not write, you will get less marks. You have written all the answers, but your answers are mediocre. Then comparatively you will get more marks. Okay, and then understand the question correctly. Sometimes, okay, in the test series, when I evaluate the papers, what I realize is the student will write beautiful answer with a flow chart, map, diagram, excellent English in introduction, conclusion, perfect. But the answer is for a different question. I mean, he did not understand the question correctly. I will give grace marks in the test series, but UPSC they will give you 0 marks for it. Is it clear? So that is how understanding the question correctly is the main step in the scoring process. Is it clear? But mostly students will leave that point. They don't bother about that. Okay, did I complete the syllabus? No, I will never think about it. Okay, and did I by heart all the book names, thinker names, terms and all? No, I will never think about it. I will only think about some fancy things some rankers are speaking about. That should not. We have to first do the basic requirements. What is a basic requirement? Preparation. Is it clear? If you are completely prepared, obviously you will score better. Okay, preparation and completing the answer sheet. If you are a slow writer, whatever fancy things the rankers suggest you, whatever fancy things that I suggest you, useless. Is it clear? Time management and correct understanding the question. For example, if the question is polygenic inheritance, okay, multiple factor inheritance, but you have written for multiple alleles, gone 0 marks. Because question is multiple factor inheritance, what you have written is multiple alleles. Is it clear? The question is cultural materialism, but you have written about material culture, 0 marks. Okay, see how narrow gap you have in this cultural materialism, material culture. Sounding very, very similar, but if you write one for the other, 0 marks. Okay, so understanding the question properly is a basic requirement. It is not a fancy thing that you will watch in the internet. Okay, so use more subheadings, underline the important points, box the important points. It is not examiner's responsibility to search for the terms in your answer. It is your responsibility to show your, okay, showcase your knowledge to the examiner. Okay, and then diagrams, flow charts, maps, tables, graphs to make the points visible at a glance. If the examiner looks at the paper, he must know what all you must have written in that. Should not carefully read it word by word, even though the examiner should come to know what all you have written. Is it clear? And give more examples, write case studies, provide data. For example, when you speak about urbanization, what percentage of people are urban? When you speak about joint families, speak about what percentage of families are joint families. Okay, so provide some data. Okay, and give reference to some reports and indices. For example, Human Development Index, Poverty Gap Index, okay, indices and reports. Write about new developments, current affairs, etc. And follow the introduction, body, conclusion format. If not for all the questions, at least for most of the questions. Okay, and use more subheadings, quote the thinkers instead of saying one point directly. Okay, as stated by E.B. Tyler or as stated by some Lewis Henry Morgan. So like that you have to quote the thinkers, quote the book names wherever it is needed, wherever it is possible. Okay, and relating the answers to both paper 1 and paper 2, relating one unit answer with the other unit, relating paper 2 answer with the paper 1. Okay, so this kind of interlinking between different units and papers, this is how you can score high in anthropology. But of course, on the very first day I spoke about how to score high in anthropology. It may not completely sink in at this level, but during the course, of course, I will train you how to score high in anthropology. That's all for today's session. Thank you so much.